wanted to make sure that you guys were clear about what we did with Nvidia. So I thought, I mean, we already did a calendar, kind of a dual calendar last week for the earnings call. The call side of it didn't work, but we were able to get 16 bucks for it. And so what we're left with is a short put. I believe they were 108s. Shorted the 108 for last Friday, bought the 108 for this Friday. And the hope was that that 108 put for last Friday, the price would drop, but not lower than that. Because if it stayed above that, then this could expire worthless. We keep the credit. And then what we're left with for this week is the 108 put, which didn't really cost us that much, which is great, right? So we had the total cost of the trade of this one we did up here and this one. And I was okay with the total cost of the call calendar and the put calendar, one up here, one up here, right? And so I was okay with that. So this one we got rid of, and I was able to recapture an extra 16 bucks. So I was happy about that. This one expired worthless, happy about that. Now I've got the 108 put. Now with the markets rolling over, I thought, okay, let's add to this. How can we add to it? So what I did was I sold the 105 put for this Friday. So as long as price stays below 105, wherever that is, right? Then this will expire worthless, and I'll have a 105 put for next week. Get the 108 put for this week. And we'll see what happens. Everybody clear about that? And if you see the box, like this looks so much like the SPY, doesn't it? Right? 20 period moving average. Literally, this is what it looks like, doesn't it? And it doesn't look like it's breaking out all that strongly. I mean, if you look, the VIX is starting to rise again. So with the VIX rising like this, maybe it's time for us to put on a VIX trade. Now it's a bit early, but you know, we've been doing sort of our MO here in Legacy is that we don't wait for confirmations because it's Wednesday and we want to trade. Like I want to wait till the end of the day or even till Thursday to do the trade, but because our session is today, I'm like, let's do it. And that has not worked all the time. It would be smarter to wait for some confirmations, but do we want to take another shot at VIX? We've been doing really well on the VIX trades lately. We have to see what happens, but if you start to see a higher high made here in the VIX, that is really significant trouble. And I mean like VIX 40 trouble. And I mean dropping Nvidia below 100, the SPY dropping below its next support level, which is 570. I'm talking about a mini crash. So just gotta keep an eye on this. You know, we're not getting the bounce that we thought we'd get on IWM. IWM has already reversed since we've been on together. Let's look at it. It's kind of like a hedge now, but look, looks just like the SPY, doesn't it? Got a little bit of a move up, but now it's here. So really interesting what's going on right now. It's kind of in a very sticky spot. And if I look at ES, remember the level that I gave earlier, it was, you know, on SPY was 580. It's just below 580 if you look. So like this is 580, right? 580 is here. Not exact, but right? But if you look at where the box is, it's just below it, right? So it's kind of like 578.50. It's like it's right about there. And if I switch this to the futures, which is really more telling because this includes the overnight action, and the big investors are moving, you know, they're moving, you know, in the overnight. And so if you look at that same kind of scenario, you'll see here's the box. Where are we? Since 3 o'clock this morning, right? There's 3 o'clock this morning, and then the pre-market is like right here. So this is, well, this was the box. And if you look, psychological level, big fat round number. Remember that? Remember those days? 5,800. Well, you lost 5,800. In fact, 57.5 is coming. If you can't get above here, there will be no bounce. Or a better way of describing it is the bounce already happened. And it happened at the end of the day yesterday, not quite the end, but because at the end it kind of faltered right there. That could have been the bounce right here that happened yesterday afternoon from like 12 in the afternoon up to about 2:30 or so. This bounce, that could have been it because if you look, it dumped right after it. And then in the overnight, you didn't see much narrative because they were waiting to see, then there was Trump and his speech and all of that. And then early in the morning, what investors going to do? So they start selling off a little bit, selling off. So this is where you would expect, okay, they're selling off, but not hugely. And the VIX is still holding. So maybe here is where you get the bounce. Nope. So far, no. So far, no. So let's look at to see if we got an hourly close somewhere at a significant level, and then I'll take questions and see what we want to do. Yeah, so this is your hourly close. About to close here. 57.89 hourly close. Not quite there. I would say here. What's that? 57. Let's go back a little bit. No? 57.44. Yeah. Yeah, I would say right here. I would say if you get an hourly close below this level here, take off IWM and lean into shorting the Qs or XLK or add to the SPY. You could do another SPY, add to that if you like. Even Nvidia, or you can wait another day because who knows? If you wait till tomorrow and you get a little dead cat bounce tomorrow, you might be in a better place. The best place to add to our shorts, as you all know, would be if it did this and failed. Now it sort of did, didn't it? It did it right here. So that could have been it, you know. Um, early afternoon yesterday. This could have been it. Thought maybe you'd get this. It's happened a little in the overnight. There was your attempt this morning. That ain't a dead cat bounce. That is the weakest attempt in a bounce I think I've ever seen. And it just continues to drop. So I think maybe we're getting close to the point of taking off our IWM. Or you could leave it on. You know what? The IWM hedge was so cheap. Maybe we should just leave it on in case we get the bounce tomorrow. But I would like to start, take profits in the SPY trade and then add another leg lower for next week or even 321. That makes more sense to me, actually. So suggestions here for you guys is if I know Michael, he already has. I would bet a ton that Michael has already done what I'm writing here. What do you say, Michael? Will I lose that bet? Or are you working it right now? If this continues to drop lower, SPY continues to drop lower, we'll take profits on SPY. Well, we can leave the IWM trade on as a very small hedge. I think we could add some VIX for, I don't know how many weeks out. Let's do it for the week of the monthly, right after the week of the monthly expiration. So it would be, what is it, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Is March 25th, 26th a Tuesday? That's my closing for my property. I think the 326, maybe. Add VIX. Add next SPY leg. So you just go down to the next one. If you had 580, 575, you do Look at 575, 570 as the next leg. You could maybe even add some Apple, which probably want to do that too. Take profits on Apple, and then maybe add next leg. I think you have to wait until it breaks 230. Don't get too redundant in your trades. 26 is Wednesday. Yeah, so that would be the expiration. Yeah. So, Michael, did you close your, I want to know, yes or no, did you close your SPY trade? You can say no. I think this is the strategy for the next day or two. Any questions about this? If it continues to go lower and we don't get a bounce around noon, I would imagine at noon we're going to get some kind of a bounce. But the VIX is pushing higher, and take profits where you can get it. Take it on the SPY. Maybe we will hold our IWM as a hedge. Maybe add some VIX verts or straight up out of the money calls way up there, just in case this thing really falls apart. And maybe look to add the next SPY leg. I think maybe tomorrow would be better to do that. Apple, I think we've got some shorts on Apple. We could take a look at taking profits there, adding the next leg, but wait until it breaks 230. Did it break it already? It's right at 230. So I'd like to see like I guess a daily close below 230, and then you could think about it going lower. Any questions, guys? I take profits earlier and earlier of late. Yeah, so at that point, Zlatko, do you really need to do a vertical? Like, how much is the 30? How much is the 40? How much are the $40 calls on the VIX for 326? Can you pull that up? I'm on my laptop, so I'm not doing multiple screens here. Just what's the $40 calls for 326 on the VIX? Because if it's less than 50 cents, just buy them. Although 18 cents for a 2 wide vert ain't bad. About 68 cents. Yeah. Not bad. I mean, you could do a bunch of them, right? Like we've done in the past. Do some 2730s like Zlatko suggests. Buy some 40s, buy some 60s, 70s, 50s, whatever it is. Just have, if the VIX continues higher through the lunch hour, through like 2 o'clock, pick up some VIX just that you have some, right? That's all. And manage your trades. Any other questions? Now's the time. I'm on limited availability, so you got me here for a minute or two if there's a question. If there's not a question, I'm going to go back in the ocean. 60 cents. Yeah, get it for 60 cents. All right, guys. Most of the trades we have on, let's see, so Tesla is Tesla. We don't have to do anything with that until end of the week. But we do have the credits. All right. So just so that you're clear, the Nvidia trade that we did here in Legacy, we didn't buy any puts. We didn't buy any put flies. All we did here in Legacy to add on to the Nvidia trade in Masterclass, all we did was we did credit spreads, right? We just put on some credit spreads, which all expired worthless, right? That was the ad. I just want you to take note of that so that you can think about that. If we do some trades in Masterclass and you like it and you think there's a continuation to the downside or upside, you can add some credit spreads far away from the trade just to bring the cost down. It just brings in some money. You could look at it as profit. You could look at it as cost reduction. But just look back in the alerts to the NVIDIA credit spreads. It was an add to our trade in NVIDIA on NVIDIA and Masterclass, and it was just credit spreads bringing in some credit. Those expired worthless as we wanted to, so we got to keep that money. And so the only other thing that we have here that needs to be managed SPX flies were great. We got the Tesla thing. Yeah, that's it, right? We don't have anything else. Thoughts on SLV? Okay, I'll take one question on metals. Tough, right? Dollar going down like crazy. Is this a time to think about adding a position in gold? I think gold has a pullback coming. Um, I don't I don't like this price action as it dropped. Dollar coming down, coming down, coming down. Um, the dollar is getting ready for a little bit of a bounce, so this is not a good time, right? This is not. Look at the dollar here, guys. Oversold. This is not a good time to jump in here. Now, normally you would think, hey, we'll come up here, do this, right? Yeah, but look where the dollar is. I just don't trust it. I'm looking for a potential rebound in the dollar. And when that happens, rather than look at silver, and I don't think this is, I wouldn't want you spending money on this move. But gold is going to pull back at some point. It's going to get there and it's going to pull back. And so is silver as the dollar rebounds higher. So that is not a trade that I would suggest that you get into. So what I've said before, I'll close with this. Why stub a toe over guessing on metals when the dollar is at a low that it hasn't seen in months, right? Why, or as my friend used to say, why chip a tooth on something like that? That's a hard trade. Go with the trades that won't be as speculative, that have narrative, that have technicals, that have algorithmic moves, that are proved and confirmed by price action. Meaning the SPY, the VIX, Apple, Tesla, Nvidia, Microsoft, the ones that are moving algorithmically. One of the reasons why we've had over an 80% win rate over the last few months is because we have been sticking with tickers that are algorithmically connected, and we've been trading the algos, price action, narrative, technicals, and keeping it simple. We've made most of our money, if you think about it, on SPY, VIX, Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, and Tesla. A few others sprinkled in, but isn't that the majority of what we've traded over the last 2 to 3 months with over 80%? So why would you want to chip a tooth on silver right now with the dollar being as low as it is? Does that make sense? Everybody get that? Okay. All right. If I take any trades, I'm going to wait. Until after the European market closes, see how they react totally to Trump's speech, and if there's any action today with Zelensky, or if there's any action today with Canada or Mexico. I know Trump got handed a temporary setback with that USAID that we've got to send out $1.3 billion to all these bogus causes around the world, which is insane, but they're going to fight it. So we'll see what happens with that. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video from Trade With Me Now. Make sure to go ahead and like this video and subscribe to our channel so you make sure that you catch our next video right when it's released. Also, if you have a question or comment, please leave that in the comments section below. And of course, if you want to learn more about Trade With Me Now or join our community of profitable traders, go to tradewithmenow.com. There's also a link in the description below.